The spirit's voice rolled across the river like thunder. Kofi trembled, but pride still burned in his chest. He wanted to appear brave, though fear already clawed at his heart. "I only wished to see what was inside the bottle," Kofi said. "I did not mean harm." The Jinn's eyes glowed brighter. Its smoke-like body twisted and swirled above him. "Curiosity is not innocence, boy. Mischief is not play. You have disturbed the ancient balance." The trees groaned as if they felt the anger of the spirit. Birds scattered into the sky, and the river bubbled like boiling water. Kofi fell to his knees, clutching the bottle tightly. "Forgive me," he whispered. The Jinn bent low, its breath hot as fire. "I do not forgive," it said. "But I give warning. Tell your people that the bottle must never again be touched. If it is opened once more, tragedy will fall upon this land. Go now, return to your people. Carry my words." And with a roar like a storm, the smoke rushed back into the bottle, sealing itself with a sharp hiss. The forest grew still. The river calmed. Only Kofi's pounding heart reminded him of what had happened. He picked up the glowing bottle, now heavy and silent, and ran back to the village. His feet struck the dusty path hard, his chest tight with fear. When he reached the village, the elders gathered around him, drawn by his shaking voice. Kofi told them everything: the river, the golden bottle, the smoke, the Jinn, and the warning. The people gasped. Mothers covered their children's faces. Old men shook their heads. "Foolish boy," one elder said, his voice heavy. "We told you never to play near the river. You have awoken a spirit too strong for us." Another elder, wrinkled and wise, stepped forward. "The Jinn has spoken a warning. If we are careful, we may yet be safe. Bury the bottle deep in the ground, where no hand may touch it. And, boy, let this be your last act of mischief." Kofi bowed his head in shame. For the first time, his laughter was gone. He dug a hole outside the village and buried the bottle under the earth. The people prayed, their voices rising into the night air. Drums were struck softly, and songs of protection were sung to calm the spirit's wrath. For a while, peace returned. The children played again. The men worked in their farms. The women fetched water and told stories by firelight. But deep in their hearts, fear still lived. They wondered if the Jinn was truly gone or only waiting. Kofi, too, could not forget. Each night, he dreamed of red eyes glowing in smoke. Each morning, he woke in sweat, his ears ringing with the Jinn's voice: "If it is opened once more, tragedy will fall." Then, one fateful day, the sky darkened though the sun had not yet set. A strange wind blew through the huts, carrying with it a smell of smoke and ash. Goats bleated wildly. Dogs barked and hid under stools. The elders came together, uneasy. Suddenly, from the ground outside the village, a terrible crack split the earth. The buried bottle, glowing and burning, pushed its way up through the soil. Its seal broke with a scream that no human throat could make. From it poured smoke thicker than night, rising higher and higher, until the whole sky turned black. The Jinn had returned, angrier than before. The spirit's voice shook the huts. "You were warned. Yet the bottle has been opened again. Now your land will taste sorrow." The villagers fell to the ground, covering their ears from the roar. Children cried. Women wailed. The men stood helpless. Lightning split the sky though no rain fell. Flames leapt from the ground where the Jinn's smoke touched. A hut caught fire, then another. The people scattered, running in fear. Kofi stood frozen, his heart pounding. He knew the truth: the bottle had not been opened by human hands. The Jinn had chosen to break free, to punish the village for daring to disturb its rest. And as the fire spread and the screams rose, Kofi understood: his mischief had begun something he could no longer stop. The tragedy had started. Long ago, in the heart of Africa, there was a small village surrounded by wide fields and thick forests. The people of this village were simple farmers. They rose with the sun, tilled their land, and slept under the bright moon. Life was not always easy, but there was peace in the village. Among these people lived a boy named Kofi. Kofi was different from the other children. While most boys helped their fathers in the fields or carried water for their mothers, Kofi's heart was full of play. He was clever, curious, and restless. His laughter often echoed through the huts, but so did his mischief. The elders would shake their heads and say, "This boy does not listen. Mischief will one day lead him into danger." But Kofi only laughed. He loved chasing goats through the narrow paths, hiding behind trees to scare the girls, and climbing the tallest mango trees even when warned not to. His tricks often brought smiles, but sometimes they brought trouble too. Still, Kofi never learned, for he thought the world would always forgive him. One hot evening, when the sun was red and heavy in the sky, Kofi wandered near the old river bank. That river was feared by many. The elders said that spirits lived there, spirits older than the village itself. "Do not play near the river," the mothers told their children. "It is a place of secrets." But Kofi, with his curious eyes, walked there alone. The river sang softly that day. Its water glistened like glass, and the tall reeds whispered in the wind. Kofi bent down to pick smooth stones from the shore, skipping them across the surface. But as he dug in the sand, his fingers touched something strange, something hard, round, and shining. He pulled it out and gasped. It was a bottle, unlike anything he had ever seen. It was golden, glowing as if the sun itself was trapped inside. Strange markings curled along its surface, old letters that no one in the village could read. The bottle was heavy, yet it shone with beauty that tempted the heart. Kofi's eyes widened with delight. "Ah, what a treasure I have found," he whispered to himself. He thought of running back to the village to show his friends, but then he remembered the elders' tales. They had spoken of bottles like this, bottles that trapped jinns, powerful spirits with anger like fire. Kofi's heart raced. For a moment, fear touched him. He held the bottle at arm's length. Should he throw it back into the river? Should he bury it in the sand? But curiosity, stronger than fear, gripped him. His mischief whispered, "Try it, Kofi. See what happens. Maybe it will make you powerful. Maybe it will make you greater than all the others." So, with a sly smile, Kofi rubbed the bottle. At first, nothing happened. The river still sang, the reeds still swayed. Kofi chuckled. "The elders always lie. There is nothing here." But then, suddenly, the ground trembled beneath his feet. The air grew heavy, and the water of the river began to stir like a boiling pot. Thick smoke poured from the mouth of the bottle, swirling upward into the sky. Kofi stumbled backward, his eyes wide with shock. The smoke grew taller, darker, until it formed the shape of a towering figure with blazing eyes. Its voice rolled like thunder. "Who has dared to disturb my rest?" the figure roared. Kofi's legs shook. His hands trembled. Yet his pride and mischief did not leave him. He swallowed hard and said, "It is I, Kofi of this village. I found your bottle. Now you must listen to me." The giant shadow leaned forward, its eyes burning red. "Foolish child," it said slowly. "Do you think a spirit such as I can be commanded by a boy? You have awakened me with your mischief, and now you will learn the price of arrogance." The wind howled. The trees bent low as if bowing before the spirit. The bottle glowed brighter, and Kofi's heart thumped like a drum. He did not yet know that his mischief had opened the door to a great tragedy, one that would soon strike not only him, but the whole village. And so the tale begins. The night sky glowed red as if the heavens themselves were burning. Smoke covered the moon, and the stars hid behind the black clouds. The jinn's anger shook the village like drums of war. Huts turned into flames. Fields of maize bent and withered. Goats and chickens scattered, bleating and crying. The people of Neemgarn ran from one side to another, but no safe place remained. "Save the children," the women cried. Mothers wrapped their babies with cloth and rushed toward the river. But the river itself boiled, hissing with steam. No water could cool the fire, for the Jinn had cursed it. At the center of this terror stood Kofi, the boy of mischief. His heart was heavy, and his knees grew weak. Every scream around him pierced his ears like sharp thorns. He saw his uncle's hut collapse in flames. He saw an old woman faint from fear. He saw his little sister cry until her voice broke. Kofi whispered to himself, "This is my fault. All of this is because I touched the bottle." The elders of the village gathered under the great baobab tree, their faces dark with sorrow. The oldest among them, Nana Obiari, raised his staff and called out in a voice that shook with age, "People of Nimgan, this is not a fire of men. It is a fire of spirit. We cannot fight smoke with spears, nor flame with our bare hands. Only the one who woke the Jinn can stand before it." All eyes turned to Kofi. Mothers pulled their children away from him. Fathers frowned with anger. Whispers filled the air. It was his mischief that brought this curse. He should face the spirit himself. If he does nothing, we all will perish. Tears rolled down Kofi's cheeks. He wanted to run, to hide in the forest. But deep in his heart, he knew Nana Obiari's words were true. Only he could stand before the Jinn. Only he could try to calm the spirit's rage. The boy walked slowly to the edge of the flames. His small body looked like a shadow against the fire. The Jinn rose higher, its eyes glowing like red suns. Its voice thundered. "You defied me, child. You disturbed my rest. Now your people pay the price." Kofi fell to his knees. "Great Spirit," he cried, "I was foolish. I was blind. I did not mean to bring sorrow. Please, forgive my people. Punish me alone if you must, but spare them." The Jinn laughed, and the ground shook. "Your words are soft, but mischief is not washed away with tears. I warned you once. The warning was broken. Now I shall take what is mine." Suddenly, the wind roared like 1,000 lions. From the flames, the Jinn stretched its long hand of smoke and reached for the children hiding near the river. Their mothers screamed, but the smoke coiled around the little ones like snakes. Kofi's heart almost stopped. He could not allow it. He ran forward, shouting, "Take me instead. Leave them." The Jinn paused, its burning eyes studying the boy. "You offer yourself?" "Yes," Kofi shouted, his voice shaking. "Take me, only me. Let the village live." For a moment, silence fell. Even the flames seemed to wait. Then the Jinn's voice rumbled. "Very well, boy. But know this, when one soul gives itself to the spirit, the land must still drink sorrow. Your sacrifice will not end the curse. It will only begin another path." With that, the smoke wrapped around Kofi. His body lifted into the air, his cries echoing across the burning fields. The people watched with wide, tearful eyes. His mother screamed his name, but her voice could not reach him. The Jinn carried Kofi into the sky. The fire calmed. The smoke thinned. Slowly, the hut stopped burning. The people fell to the ground, exhausted and trembling. Nimgan was safe for now. But their hearts were broken. Their boy of mischief, their Kofi, was gone. And above the clouds, where no eye could see, the Jinn whispered, "This is only the beginning." The people of Nimgan wept through the night. The flames were gone, the hut still stood, yet sorrow filled every heart. Mothers cried for the boy. Fathers shook their heads in silence. The elders sat under the baobab tree and whispered, "The boy has been taken. But where? And will he ever return?" High above, beyond the sight of men, the Jinn carried Kofi across the clouds. The boy's body felt light, as if the wind itself had swallowed him. His eyes opened and saw strange lands below, rivers of silver, mountains that shone like copper, and forests where the trees glowed with blue fire. At last, the Jinn brought him to a dark cave hidden inside a mountain. Smoke curled at the entrance, and the sound of distant drums echoed within. The Jinn set him down on the stony floor. "This," said the spirit, its voice echoing like thunder, "is the realm between worlds. Few mortals have entered and lived. You will remain here, boy, until your spirit learns the weight of mischief. Kofi trembled, but he tried to stand tall. You took me, and I accepted it. But what will happen to my people? The Jinn's red eyes burned. They will live, but they will suffer. Your land will dry. Your crops will fail. Only when your heart carries wisdom will their sorrow end. Kofi lowered his head. His heart was heavy with guilt. He thought of his mother, of his little sister's tears, of the elders' disappointed eyes. Then teach me, he whispered. Teach me so I can free them. The Jinn let out a long, swirling breath of smoke. Very well. But wisdom is not given, it is earned. From the walls of the cave, shadows moved. They formed into shapes, strange spirits of earth, fire, water, and wind. Each one's eyes glowed with a different light. The Jinn spoke again. These are the spirits of the 4 elements. Each will test you. If you pass, you may learn. If you fail, your soul will remain here forever. Kofi's heart beat fast, but he nodded. I will face them. The first spirit stepped forward, tall and brown like a man carved from soil. Its voice was deep as a drum. I am Earth. Can you carry the weight of your people? Show me your strength. It placed a giant stone on Kofi's back. The boy staggered, his knees shaking. Sweat poured down his face. His body cried to fall, but his mind remembered the village, the crying children, the burning huts. I must carry them, he told himself. Step by step, he moved across the cave floor, the stone pressing him down. At last, he dropped the stone before the spirit. His body trembled, but he still stood. The earth spirit bowed. You have strength, boy. Next came the spirit of fire, glowing red, flames dancing on its skin. I am fire. Mischief is a spark. Will you control it, or will it burn you? It sent a circle of flames around Kofi. The heat bit at his skin. Fear whispered, run. But Kofi remembered the flames that had swallowed Nimgan. He raised his voice, I will not fear you. Fire can destroy, but it can also give light. He stepped forward, passing through the flames. They did not burn him. The fire spirit bowed. You have courage, boy. The spirit of water glided next, silver like the moon. I am water. Will you flow with wisdom, or drown in foolishness? It created a river that swept Kofi off his feet. He flailed, choking. Then he stopped struggling and let the current carry him. He remembered the Jinn's words, wisdom is earned. He floated calmly, and the water set him down gently. You have patience, the water spirit said. Finally came the spirit of wind, fast and wild. I am wind. Can you stand firm when the world shakes you? A great storm blew against Kofi. Dust and smoke stung his eyes. He bent, but he did not fall. I will not be blown away, he shouted. The wind spirit calmed. You have balance. The 4 spirits vanished. The cave grew silent. The Jinn's red eyes glowed brighter. You have passed the first trials, boy. But your journey is not yet done. Kofi stood taller, though his body was weak. For the first time, his mischief had turned into something else, strength, courage, patience, and balance. He whispered, I will not stop until my village is free. And deep in the shadows, the Jinn smiled, though whether in pride or in trickery, no one could tell. The cave grew darker, though no night had fallen. The glowing spirits of earth, fire, water, and wind were gone, leaving only the Jinn's towering form. Its eyes burned like hot coals, and its smoke filled every corner. Kofi stood still, his body weak from the trials, but his spirit stronger than before. He lifted his head. I have passed your tests. Now tell me, what more must I do to save my people? The Jinn's voice rumbled like faraway thunder. Boy, you speak of saving your people, but do you know why they suffer? Do you know why I am bound to this bottle? Kofi frowned. No. Tell me. The Jinn's smoke swirled, and visions appeared on the cave wall. Kofi saw a long ago time. There was Nimgan, but younger, brighter. The people danced, their fields green, their rivers full. But among them lived a chief who grew greedy. This man, the Jinn said, was your ancestor. He prayed not for wisdom, but for power. He summoned me from the world of spirits, thinking he could command me like a servant. For his greed, I brought punishment. His bloodline was cursed every few generations. A child would awaken me again. And each time, sorrow would follow. Kofi's eyes widened. So, I was the child chosen? Yes, said the Jinn. It was written long before your birth. Mischief was only the spark. The curse is the fire. The boy's heart pounded. He thought of his grandmother's stories, the warnings of the elders, the whispers of strange shadows near the river. It was all true. The curse was old, and he had only played his part. But is there no way to end it? He asked, his voice breaking. Must my people always suffer? The Jinn leaned closer, its smoke curling around him. There is one way. A sacrifice greater than mischief. To break the curse, one must give their heart willingly, pure and without fear. That heart will bind me forever, sealing me where no bottle can reach. But the one who gives it shall never return. Kofi's throat tightened. You mean? I must give my life. The Jinn's red eyes did not blink. Yes. A true sacrifice, not of punishment, but of choice. Silence filled the cave. The boy felt the weight of the world pressing down on him. His people, his mother, his little sister, they all lived under the curse born from greed long ago. And now, the burden had fallen on his small shoulders. For a moment, he wished to run, to hide, to cry. But then he remembered the trials, the stone he carried, the fire he faced, the river he floated upon, and the storm he endured. Strength, courage, patience, and balance, these had been planted in him. He stood tall. If that is the only way, then I will do it. The Jinn's smoke trembled, as if surprised. You are but a boy. Why choose death when you could live? Kofi looked straight into the burning eyes. Because my life began with mischief, but it must end with honor. If I save my people, I will not be forgotten. Let my name be remembered not for trouble, but for sacrifice. The cave grew silent. For the first time, the Jinn's voice softened. Few mortals speak so. You may yet have the strength to finish this path. It stretched out a smoky hand. But first, you must journey into the Chamber of Echoes. There, your own spirit will face you. If you conquer yourself, the final choice will be yours. A doorway opened in the stone wall, glowing with strange blue light. Wind howled through it, carrying whispers that sounded like voices from the village, crying, singing, calling his name. Kofi swallowed hard, but he did not step back. I will go. The boy walked toward the doorway, his shadow long against the stone. Beyond it waited the Chamber of Echoes, the place where his true battle would begin. And the Jinn watched him go, its eyes unreadable, as though caught between pride and sorrow. Kofi stepped through the glowing doorway, and at once the air grew heavy. The stone walls around him hummed like drums, and every sound he made returned to him, louder, sharper, like voices of many people. The Chamber of Echoes was wide and round, its roof lost in darkness. Blue fire burned in tall clay pots, casting strange shadows on the floor. The boy's heart thumped as he walked inside, for the voices whispered his name. Kofi! 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 At first he thought they were the spirits of his ancestors, but then one voice grew clearer than all the others. It was his own voice. From the center of the chamber, smoke gathered and shaped itself into a boy who looked exactly like him. Same round face, same restless eyes, same scars on his knees from climbing trees. But this Kofi was different. His smile was cruel, his eyes shone with mischief, and his laughter rang out like broken glass. Ah, so here you are, the echo said. The brave boy who thinks he can save the village. But who brought the trouble in the first place? Who opened the bottle? Who angered the Jinn? Kofi's chest tightened. I did. But I want to make it right. The echo walked in circles around him. Make it right? Or make yourself a hero. You seek praise, not sacrifice. You are still selfish, still the little troublemaker who plays tricks on goats and steals mangoes from old women's baskets. The boy clenched his fists. I was foolish then. But I have changed. The echo laughed again. Changed? Look at you. You are afraid. You cry at night for your mother. You dream of running away. Do you think courage comes from one journey? You are still the same Kofi. The words cut deep. Every weakness he tried to hide, every fear he carried, stood before him like a mirror. His knees shook, but he remembered the spirit's lessons: strength, courage, patience, balance. He breathed slowly and answered, yes, I am afraid. Yes, I make mistakes. But courage is not the absence of fear, it is walking forward even when fear follows. The echo's cruel smile faded a little. Its body flickered like smoke in wind. Kofi stepped closer. I cannot erase the mischief I caused. I cannot bring back the time before the bottle. But I can give myself so that my people may live. That is not selfishness. That is sacrifice. The echo hissed, its shape twisting, growing taller, its eyes burning red. Sacrifice? Or foolishness? You are just a boy. Better to live and forget the village. Better to run and save yourself. Kofi raised his chin. No. A boy who runs leaves only shame. A boy who stays leaves hope. I choose hope. The echo screamed, its voice shaking the chamber. The clay pots rattled, and blue fire blazed higher. Then, slowly, the echo crumbled into smoke, swallowed by the shadows. The whispers grew quiet until only silence remained. The chamber shook, and from the ground rose a stone platform. On it lay a small glowing heart, golden and bright, beating like a drum. A deep voice filled the chamber, it was the Jinn. You have conquered yourself. This heart is the key. Take it, and the final choice will be yours. Kofi picked up the glowing heart. It pulsed warmly in his hands, as though it carried the breath of life itself. He knew what it meant. To end the curse, he must give his own heart to bind the Jinn forever. The boy pressed it to his chest. He closed his eyes, whispering, for my people, for my village, let this mischief end with me. The doorway opened again, leading back to the cave where the Jinn waited. Kofi stepped through, holding the golden heart, ready for the last and hardest step of his journey. The chamber of echoes grew dark behind him, but in his spirit, a new light had awakened. Kofi stepped out of the chamber of echoes, holding the golden heart that pulsed in his hands. The cave was silent, but the silence was heavy, like the pause before a storm. At the center of the cave stood the Jinn, its tall body made of shadows and smoke, eyes like burning coals. You return, boy, the Jinn said, its voice shaking the stones. But do you bring wisdom, or do you bring more foolishness? Kofi lifted the heart. I bring my own life. Take me, and release my people. The Jinn laughed, deep and terrible. You would give your heart for them? Why? They will forget you. They will tell your story for a season, then cast it aside. You will be nothing. Kofi's hands trembled, but he stood tall. Even if they forget me, they will live. Even if my name fades, the children will run again, the mothers will sing again, the fathers will work the fields again. That is enough for me. The Jinn's smoke swirled, curling like angry snakes. You speak like a man, yet you are just a boy. Do you understand what it means to give your heart? I do, Kofi said softly. It means I will not see the sunrise again. But it also means the sun will rise for my people. For a long moment, the Jinn said nothing. Then it stretched out its smoky hands, and the cave darkened. Then give it, child. Let us bind the curse. Kofi pressed the glowing heart to his chest. A sharp pain struck him, like fire entering his body. He fell to his knees, gasping. The heart sank into him, and a golden light spread from his chest, filling the cave. His small body shook, but his face remained calm. The Jinn roared, twisting and writhing as the light burned through its shadows. Its scream shook the mountains, its smoke tearing apart like cloth. Yet even as it vanished, its voice carried one last word. Remember. And then there was silence. The curse lifted. The river that had dried began to flow again, clear and strong. The withered trees grew green leaves, and the air smelled of rain. The sleeping people of the village awoke, coughing and confused, but alive. They rushed outside, blinking at the bright sky. Children laughed as water splashed their feet, women wept as they saw the crops rise again, and men lifted their hands in thanks. But Kofi did not return with them. His body lay at the mouth of the cave, still and quiet. His chest glowed faintly for a moment, then faded. The villagers found him there. They carried him gently to the center of the village. The elders placed drums around him, and the women sang a low, mourning song. But as they mourned, they also remembered. This boy, the chief said, his voice heavy, brought mischief upon us. But this boy also gave his life to save us. From today, let his story be told, not as a tale of foolishness, but as a tale of courage. Let his name live in our drums. And so they beat the drums, slow, steady, like the beating of a heart. Boom, boom, boom. Each beat carried Kofi's name into the night sky. Children learned it, mothers whispered it, and the wind carried it beyond the hills. The cave where he fell became sacred. No one entered it without respect. They said the sound of drums could still be heard inside, faint but steady, like the echo of a boy's heartbeat. Years passed, and the story of Kofi grew. Some called him foolish, others called him brave, but all agreed he was the boy who gave himself for the village. And when children grew restless, when mischief stirred in their eyes, mothers told them, remember Kofi. Mischief brings trouble, but sacrifice brings life. Thus the tale ended, not with laughter, but with wisdom. And the people never forgot the last drumbeat of the boy who gave his heart.